And welcome back, everybody. You are watching Championship Sports right here on KUAM TV, coming to you live from the Calvo Fieldhouse in Mingilao. The referees just met with the captains of either team, and this crowd cannot wait for these teams to get it on. There is no tomorrow, Andy Wheeler.
Nope.
One of these teams will go home and forever be etched in history as the champions this year. One team is simply going home.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's a lot going on. There's a lot on the line. St. Paul, undefeated season. We know they are tried and true. You've seen them win some close games, and that's a real true sign of a tough team, is being able to win those close ones. FD, they do have 2 losses, but that's really nothing to scoff at, because they've gone up against some really, really tough competition. And you look at them, a distinct size advantage as far as the Friars go. They've got some bigs, so we talked about it at the top of the show. Look for them to work the paint, work the post. They're going to slow it down, get into a more set half-court offense. And St. Paul, of course, just going to be running probably that press defense the whole game. So it's definitely going to be a real interesting game to watch. And you can see it, all the sports cliches, Jason, they're packed to the rafters. The air is electric. Yep. You can cut the tension with a knife, all of that. There's nothing like championship high school sports, and we are in for a good one tonight. And
you are seeing there, like, the sportsmanship is on display right now. These two teams know each other really well, and they respect each other through and through. Their coaches said, do not disrespect your opponent. Try and get inside his head. Try and intimidate him, but do not disrespect him.
Well, the best way to get inside your opponent's head is just to play better than them and outplay them on every single play.
And here we go. It is going to be the big man, number 0, DeAndre Cruz, the 2-sport star for FD, tipping off against number 2. And it is going to be the Friars taking the ball. And here comes FD, and here comes Tomas Calvo. Calvo, the point guard. Swinging around inside to DeAndre, and you got to like what they're trying to do, Andy, right here in the opening moments.
Yeah, he had a good look in the paint, but just wasn't able to get it to drop, and St. Paul immediately gets the board.
Long shot, good offensive glass by the Warriors. Good ball movement thus far by St. Paul in the blue and white trunks.
Yeah, look for the Warriors to really run this offense, try to spread out and wear down the Friars. As you can see, he goes up, draws the foul.
So the man at the line, number 13, Jamar White, tried a long-distance shot, but did not make it, so 0 for 1. But White will go to the line to try and put the game's first points on the board. White, a silky smooth guard, and he is Mr. Hack and Slash for that team. He can get it done from outside, or he can drive right to the hole.
Yeah, these guys, you know, despite the size difference, these guys are not afraid to drive it into the paint. And you can hear the FD student section really making some noise, trying to throw him off his game there at the charity stripe.
And White hits the back end of a 1-and-1, so 1-0 is your score. First blood drawn by the Warriors. And the press defense already being put on by St. Paul. And a steal by the Warriors. And a late call as Jason Diaz hit the deck.
That's the whole point of that press, man. The press defense is you make the other team make mistakes. You get up in their face, 2 men on them, and they throw the ball away, and St. Paul capitalizes by having a man pick it off.
Long shot off the mark for Gatchalan that time. Expect a big game from number 1. One of the big men for St. Paul. Ball being worked around by number 4, Tomas Calvo. Calvo, a long three-pointer, back rims it. And one-on-one opportunity, White to the hole. Good defense by Calvo.
Nice way to get back on defense by Calvo there, disrupt the shot and force him off his mark.
And a strip by Santos for St. Paul, and here come the Warriors.
Already we're seeing that relentless Warriors defense. They are just all over the Friars right now.
Lefty for 3, not good. And it seems like Andy, FD is slowing things down a bit because the pace being put on by St. Paul is just a little bit too frenetic at this point.
Yeah, you see Nathaniel Gates in there talking to Tomas Calvo, telling him just let's slow it down. Let's not fall into that trap. Warriors, they're going to run. They're going to run that press defense and try to bait you into trying to run the same thing. So FD just needs to slow it down, chill, play their ball game.
Big man working hard inside. DeAndre Cruz with an offensive glass and goes to the line. So the man who was the consensus most valuable player earlier in this school year for the FD boys football team, leading his team to yet another championship as the big guy rushed for well over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns.
You're seeing so many of these multi-sport athletes here. And, I mean, when you've got the gift, you've got it.
Yeah.
I did not.
And DeAndre also a GPA student. So getting it done both inside the classroom and on the court as Nathaniel Guyton and number 1, will shoot for the extra one. As your score is FD 3, St. Paul 1, as Guyton went up, got the offensive board, and then put it back in.
That's going to be key in this game is the offensive boards for FD, running that slow half-court offense. You want to be able to capitalize on every missed opportunity and get another chance, those second chance points.
Gallardo to the rack. Good power move by D'Angelo Gallardo.
Again, that St. Paul defense just all over the Friars.
And listen to the Warriors faithful come alive. And Andy, the tempo of this game just going back and forth.
Both of these teams well represented here tonight.
Gallardo throws one off the glass and puts it in.
St. Paul not afraid. They're getting right after him. FD has got to get back on defense. Otherwise, we're going to see a lot of those transition points all night for St. Paul.
5-3 your score. Warriors leading by a bucket. 4 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in what's already been an exciting opening frame of basketball. Calvo can't hit the scoop shot. And here comes Jamar White.
Josh Gotchelon crashing the boards already in this game. He's not the biggest dude out there, but he is a force down low.
You are watching live championship sports right here on KUAM TV. Jason Salas and Andy Wheeler with a call and a packed UOG Calvo Fieldhouse. Gallardo already the game's high man. Beautiful feed inside to Santos, but foul before the play. And Andy, FD had better watch out because St. Paul is really getting him into foul trouble early.
Yeah, and that's one of the things with these fast-paced offenses, the fast defenses, is you get back behind the defense, and they've got no choice but to track you down, try to get a foul, or they go up, they're out of position, and so that's when the hands get out there and end up causing a lot of fouls.
Warriors working the ball to the outside. They're very speedy guards. So many teams having so much difficulty keeping up with them. And there is a dipsy-do play.
Gotchelon strong to the hole again. He's been doing it on both ends early on in this game. Not even 4 minutes into the game. He's doing the rebounds, and he's scoring some points. Nice take to the hole.
Beautiful move. Nathaniel Guyton, his second bucket. Cuts the lead to 2, 7-5 Warriors. Now, Andy, in terms of tempo, if one team really turns it up, what can you do as a defense to basically cool the Jets and get that team to just, calm down?
As a defense, you've just got to be on them. Sometimes you just have to switch up what you're doing. You can go man defense. If that's not really working out, switch up maybe to a 2-3 or a 3-2 zone if you've got guards that are out on the outside that can shoot. You want to just make sure all of your defensive guys are in position, know their assignments, and stick to them. And if the other team wants to run, you don't want to get baited into that. You want to just kind of settle back, play your game, and keep them in check.
Yep. Your score is St. Paul Warriors 7, FD Friars 5. St. Paul, the toast of the town, as it were, in the IIAAG season. FD, basically, Andy, this is more or less a home game for them because their campus walking distance from us here at the Calvo Fieldhouse. But there's suddenly got to be a lot of blue here.
There is a lot. Both teams, both schools very well represented here, like I said, right to our right. You can see the FD student section there, and then across the way from us you see a bunch of that maroon or burgundy in the audience. And then you've got the huge St. Paul section over there, the signs. I mean, this looks like an NCAA game right here.
And both of these teams, you know, the student bodies from both St. Paul and FD really had a very stressful week because, of course, it was exam week. These guys are working really hard, and the girls. And so, you know, they've been waiting all week to just come out and cheer their teams on.
You know, school first. These are student athletes. School is the main thing. Athletics is extracurricular. So these guys really focused on that, got it done. Now it's time to play ball.
White goes right into the lane, and the teardrop shot, 9-5. 4-point lead matches the largest margin so far. As freshman, big shot, Rudy Gaza, number 3.
Gaza, top of the key. He saw it. He got an open look, and he took it.
White, off balance shot, hits, and one, Jamar White. And he has got a cheering section on the far side over on the left of the field house.
Yes, indeed, he does. And Jamar White, strong to the hole, draws the contact, somehow maintains enough balance and composure and focus to get the shot off, makes it, and look for him to do that all night. You mentioned just a minute ago how St. Paul already starting to get FD into foul trouble.
Yep. And White hits his free throw, so it is 12-8. And beautifully done that time. Once again, defense, the calling card of these young Warriors.
And you can see it right now. The attacking offense is drawing the fouls. FD already still in the first quarter has 5 fouls to St. Paul's 2.
Beautiful move and the putback shot by DeAndre Cruz.
DeAndre Cruz right there in the middle of the paint. Look for him to try to control that. He's a strong dude. He's got size. He can get up there. Look for him to crash the boards all night.
And here comes a defense by FD, but nicely done by the Warriors. They got out of that double team really, really nice.
Yeah, he did. Found the open man and drove to the lane, just couldn't keep the handle, lost it out of bounds.
And it seemed like that's what EJ Calvo was telling his team during the timeout. It looks like they're doing a little bit more traps, and they're starting to get a lot more aggressive on D.
A little bit. They see, you know, it's kind of one of those things. St. Paul is running their game, and FD's like, okay, well, we can run that ourselves because, you know, we talked about FD's half-court offense. A little more controlled tempo. That doesn't mean that they're slow. These guys can move. They can get out there and run with the best of them. But what EJ has done is try to utilize that power to their advantage. Yep.
And White missed the first but hits the second, so it is 13-10. And here comes FD with their adjustments being made on defense. Guyton knifes it to number 24, Camacho. Guyton around. Working inside.
Cruz, beautiful spin move, bottom of the post to get around his man, and goes up, gets the bucket.
White, beautiful feed. The no-look give. And Jason Diaz, number 2, with a bucket, 15-12.
Almost had an open layup.
The crowd loving this defense. Steal by the Warriors to the hole. Nicely done by Diaz, Dr. J style.
Diaz with the fast break points. St. Paul, if you're going to give that to him, St. Paul is going to run those fast breaks all night.
And this is the largest lead, 17-12. St. Paul turning defense into offense. William Camacho, number 24.
Nice spin move, little floater in the lane there. Camacho nails it.
And the steal by the big man, DeAndre Cruz, as Guyton to the hole. And he has it again, and Guyton has 8, and he is the high man as FD has cut the lead down to 1, 17-16.
We found ourselves in a little bit of a shootout here, Jason. It's turning into just a transition fast break game. Both of these teams want to attack. We saw early in the game, which, I mean, it's still in the first quarter, so we're still early, but FD has already started to kind of alter their offense a little bit. They started off with that half-court, slow offense. Now they're just wanting to get out and run with them because you can't let St. Paul keep on with those fast breaks. You've got to keep the pace up with them. And
Jench Perez hits the first of two.
Andy, there are a lot of on that one.
Andy, there are a lot of signs here. This place looks like a WWE match.
Really
you got
does.
signs all over the place, rooting for people, nicknames, inside jokes that we couldn't hope to know.
Yep.
It's a high school thing.
It is. It really is. It's a great to see all the students out here, their families, alumni all out here. It's great to see them rooting on their teams.
1 minute exactly left to go, 19-16. Guyton, who has been the game's high man, doesn't hit that, and here comes Perez, feed ahead to the speedy White. Give and go to Diaz. And Diaz again, 21-16. And a 15-second timeout called by E.J. Calvo.
White and Diaz with that 2-on-1 fast break. Look for them to try to capitalize on that all night whenever they get the opportunity. And Coach Calvo just saw, okay, it's getting a little bit out of hand. I mean, it's only a 5-point game, but still you can feel the momentum. You can feel the surge from St. Paul. So E.J. Calvo, smart enough, call a timeout, talk to his guys. All right, settle down. There's still a lot of basketball to play. We don't want this to get out of hand early because they're still definitely in it. We've still got, over 3 quarters to play.
And it's interesting, kind of like DeAndre Cruz kind of almost played the player coach when his teammates were coming off the thing. He said to every guy coming off the court, he's like, hey, we're okay. We're okay. He kept saying that.
And they are.
Let's just get one stop, like end this quarter, and then we'll figure out where to go from there.
You take it a play at a time, defensive stop at a time, and then work from there. Still a lot of basketball to play. Got a little song fest breaking out here.
Yeah. 35 seconds left to go. 21-16. Shimizu has to sky for the and a nice defensive play by Diaz. But Andy, he paid for that because he took one right on the chin.
He took some contact. Diaz, great defense right there, stood his ground. Shimizu came in, lowered the shoulder directly into him, wasn't trying to get around him, and the ref blew the whistle, saw that. So Diaz, great defense. It's those little things that, you love to see in players that are this young, but they have that wisdom to be able to draw those fouls.
Jamar White making nifty moves around Camacho. Passes it off, back to White. White working on the baseline and hits. 23-16, 10 seconds left. FD needs to push. 5 seconds left. Guyton uncontested to the hole. 23-18. And FD stops the bleeding momentarily as we have a 5-point ball game. 23-18 Warriors over the Friars so far. Stay tuned. We are back right after this. You're watching Championship Sports on KUAM TV. That was a crazy quarter.
Wow.
Wait, so they didn't do halves, they do quarters.
Yeah, quarters.
Oh. Welcome back, my friends, for the second quarter. 8 more minutes on the clock as FD put some points on the board to end the first quarter, Andy, but that first quarter was all St. Paul.
It's a 5-point game, and if the first quarter is any indication, we are in for one heck of a championship game here. These teams both getting after it. We talked at the beginning of the program, FD wanting to slow it down, but they clearly did not. They adjusted to St. Paul, and they're able to hang with them. Jamar White having a heck of a game so far.
Look at the power rebound going up and getting that was Perez.
Perez came flying in out of nowhere.
Yep.
Steal by White.
And, you know, White take away, and then White gives. 25-18, 7-point ball game.
Look at the defense meeting them at half court. And there it is again.
And
they're keeping Diaz back there like a free safety. They're pressing him at the half court. They've got Diaz back there roaming around, see where the long passes go, because they're taking away the short passes. They're going to have to go long, and Diaz is back there intercepting anything that comes across the middle. So great defensive scheme by St. Paul so far.
And, you know, Diaz technically a center, Andy, but he plays like a guard when he's playing D.
Yeah, he really does. He's got speed.
Yep.
Doesn't have the size of a typical center, but he's definitely got speed and agility.
And William Camacho hits the two-point shot to make it 25-20, and the wheels starting to come off a little bit for St. Paul here as they have their second consecutive turnover. Tomas Calvo back in the game and throws it right away. Diaz stepped in front of that.
Kicks it out to the corner.
Gallardo thinks about it. And here comes Tomas Calvo to the hole, left-handed, nicely done. And Tomas Calvo got himself some really good experience playing in the Guam Basketball Association.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And these guys definitely can play. And, wow, White answers again for St. Paul. Tomas Calvo saw something, drove the lane, scored his bucket, but St. Paul right back down with it, attack mode. And look at their defense again, still in press mode.
Calvo for three. Back rims that one, and the rebound by Diaz. Diaz handling the ball down court, goes to Gallardo, yes. Andy, talk about the shot selection of the Warriors. Very, very smart, high percentage shots being taken.
Yeah, it's layup after layup after layup. They're getting those fast break points, and they're beating them in transition. And as you see, E.J. Calvo has taken DeAndre Cruz out of the game. They're going for a smaller lineup to be able to run with the Warriors because they're seeing that, hey, these guys – they're going to be up and down the court, layup after layup, and we need the size, the smaller lineup in there to hang with them.
Less than 6 minutes to go, 29-22 is your score. And Calvo saw something he didn't like, so smartly calls timeout. And Andy, once again, it has been these little bursts, and you know we talked about speed, and you've mentioned speed, fast, up-tempo, but right. Honestly, we didn't see this much Nas in the movies.
No. St. Paul.
Fast and the Furious didn't have this much Nas.
No, St. Paul is really getting after it, and FD has the speed to keep up with them. It's just St. Paul's defensive scheme, that press. They're really putting the pressure on FD every time they get the ball. I mean, before they even get to the half court, it's just full court press. And they've got three men about at the half court blocking any of the short passes, so they have to go to the longer passes. St. Paul is back, so they're just really taking away a lot of FD's opportunities to get into that half court offense. And then they're seizing the opportunity, getting the steals, and heading back the other way. Quick, fast attack mode, that's what St. Paul is doing.
Once again, less than 6 minutes, 29 for the Warriors, 22 for the Friars. Into the game now for the Warriors, number 21, Audrey De La Cruz. A very, very speedy man on the wings. Camacho downtown. And Perez has some really serious vertical leap.
He does, and St. Paul's got three guys in the paint crashing the boards.
And there's Perez again.
Rebound.
White works his way around to Diaz. And you know, these St. Paul Warriors, they play like the Golden State Warriors. It's all about the extra pass.
It is.
It's not greedy basketball.
It's like the fast break team with the ball movement of the San Antonio Spurs. Always looking for that extra pass to draw the defense and give it over to the open man.
Ball never hit the ground on that play. Perez right to the cup. 33-22, 5:10 left to go in the first half.
Well, there should be a stat for outlet passes because we're seeing St. Paul rack them up tonight.
And you can see these Warriors, as soon as typically Diaz steals the ball, these guys take off like rockets.
Yeah, I don't know how many assists he's got already. Again with the steal, St. Paul.
Diaz, who has basically played the entire game. And Jamar White. Nifty moves, creates his own shot. A little bit short.
Again, St. Paul, the Warriors with a offensive rebound.
De La Cruz loses the handle. Turnover by the Warriors. And you were talking, Andy, DeAndre Cruz out of the game. The big man down low. John Fergerger, big 5-0 for the Friars.
Yeah, you know, you want to be able to run with the Warriors, but you also want that presence down low to be able to stop guys driving in the lane, to be able to get some low post points. I think they should start feeding him, maybe draw some fouls, maybe get the Warriors into foul trouble, because you're seeing the Friars have already doubled up the Warriors on fouls, 8-4 now.
4 minutes and change left to go. FD trying to chip away at this 11-point lead. It's now 33-23. DeAndre Cruz back into the game.
Well, if you've missed out on the entire season, the IIAAG, you're starting to see now why St. Paul is 11-0. Just a relentless attack on both sides of the court. They're after it with the offense, and they are in your face with the defense. So this is why they've gone 11-0. They're trying to cap off that perfect season tonight with the championship.
And Neil Pineda really hasn't gone to his bench that much less that deep into his reserve. He's basically used like the same 6 guys.
And, you know, if you've got a unit that gels that well, that has that chemistry on the court, and these guys are in shape, they can run. They've shown it all season long. They can run.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. If you don't need to go deep into your bench, then you don't have to.
Tomas Calvo going to shoot the technical foul. As Calvo getting 2, and I believe that was on Pineda for questioning the ref. And Calvo, beautiful stroke, 2 for 2. Cutting into that lead now, lead 8. 33-25.
As we see DeAndre Cruz checking back into the game. Well rested up, got a couple minutes on the bench, so he's going to be back in tip-top shape, ready to run with these Warriors.
Except for about 14 seconds in the first quarter, the Warriors have led all game long. And we got another technical foul as Guyton. Well, I guess FD wanted some free throw practice.
Yeah, why not?
Calvo setting up his offense. Calvo, a very methodical point guard. Taking his time. Swinging around to Shimizu. Back to Calvo. Oh, Calvo almost left his feet on that one. Rudy Gaza for 3. And that happens every now and then.
Every once in a while. It's always funny when the ball just completely stops. FD with some pretty good off-ball movement there. You can see the guys really working around. DeAndre Cruz back and forth, top and bottom in the paint. Gaza working around the wing, as you can see him up there, and in the corner, Tomas Calvo, nice little mid-range jumper.
Calvo created his own shot, but a little bit off as White. And that shot is not going to count, but White has got a million moves down low.
He really does. I mean, you get him in the open court, he can spin, cross over behind the back, he can really lock up the defender, and he's able to dish it off, maintain his balance. He's got the agility to just be able to, off balance, make these shots, and draws the foul there. Defender, little out of position, had to use the hands at a little bit too much. Ref called it.
Still 33-25 with 3:40 left to go in half number 1. And White's been a little shaky at the free throw line, despite his magnificent play. Passing and cutting through the hole.
Well, White, seeing how he plays, I guess he just doesn't like being stationary, because this guy is up and down the court. Put him at the line, it's a little different.
A rare rebound miss for the Warriors. They were normally all over that. And the Warriors, it looks like they're staying home on defense now. And blocking foul on the Warriors. And that was on number 3, Santos.
That's the half-court offense we're expecting from FD with their big man DeAndre in the middle there. Look to get him more involved because there is some size mismatches there. You can look for him to get some points down in the paint. He needs to get boxing out and get the boards a little bit more.
Yep. Santos and Dela Cruz go back to the bench, and back into the game are Perez and Maui Santos, number 11. So head coach Neil Pineda for the boys in blue, bringing in one of his big boys. DeAndre Cruz, straight power down low, but the ball came right out. And there is exactly what FD wanted to do all game long, and they're starting to exert their will down low.
Yeah, they really are. DeAndre Cruz, he needs to step that game up. He had a great spin move there, backed the defense up, wasn't able to hit the shot, but then Friars forced the turnover. He gets an easy layup. Look for them to get him more involved, and now we're seeing St. Paul in their set offense. A little mid-range jumper there off the mark.
2:30 left to go in the game, 33-27. Guyton, but the follow by Cruz. And DeAndre Cruz in the last couple minutes of real-time play proving to be unguardable.
Yeah, absolutely. Rebounding, layups, and, just taking the shots, getting in down low. That's what FD has been known for all season, that power and control of the tempo. And look for them to see that, okay, it's working now. DeAndre Cruz is our guy. Let's start running that.
And the FD student body really joining in and singing their warm-up song.
Little impromptu song fest breaking out here. You can see a little jawing back and forth between the St. Paul fans and the FD fans. All in good fun. Yep. Passionate fans out here.
Well, the Warriors haven't beat on signs, I'll give them that, but FD can carry a tune.
Yeah, the Warriors letter signs back there, that needs a little work. I think at one point it was water your out or else. Let's work on that, but so back to a 4-point ball game there. FD, good string of points. There, DeAndre Cruz really turning it up down low.
And tonight's championship game is being brought to you by our good friends at Docomo Pacific with superior 4G LTE service throughout the island. It works for our live streams at KUAM, so it certainly can work for you. Along with the Guamanian magazine, giving you perspectives on our island way of life. And also our friends at Gatorade. Look at that.
Intense. They're stepping up the defense.
We'll get to that little show of emotion in just a moment. Andy, that is something that the Duke Blue Devils do. Typically, it's their point guard. Bobby Hurley did that. Yep. Jason Williams did that. When you see all 5 guys do that, that's sending a message. And it seems like FD wanted to come right out, Andy, of that timeout, and they said, hey, let's get in these guys' head and let's be the aggressor.
Yeah, whatever Coach Calvo said to him in that timeout, they came out. You see the intensity just ramped up. They feel it. They're within reach. It's only a 4-point ball game. And they know we just got to step up our defense. We got to take better shots. We've got to rebound, and we are definitely in this. And now you can see the Friars. Friars have 2 men back to prevent that outlet pass, to prevent that fast break that the Warriors have been pulling on them all night.
And what was previously an 11-point lead now pared down to 33-30 as Guyton hits 1 of 2. But rebounding inside, and the FD guards, for whatever reason, trailing, maybe stayed back for defense.
They wanted to stay back to prevent that outlet pass and that fast break layup. And then they see that FD gets a rebound. They come right back up.
Ball being worked around the outside, and St. Paul has been a little bit more conservative, shall we say, on defense the past couple minutes. Now, Andy, why would you say St. Paul's doing that? When they press defense and they got in everybody's face, they double teamed, they trapped, that's when they've had their best success. Now that they're just staying back.
I am not sure why they decided to switch up. Not sure if it's fatigue or they just decided to do something else. FD did go on that little run. They scored a few buckets in a row, so maybe St. Paul was thinking, all right, let's switch things up and take this away. And to take certain things away, you've got to kind of alter your defense. With DeAndre Cruz in there, he does change the game up quite a bit.
Of course, both of these schools, private schools, and there's a defensive trap. And a little bit of talking going on between Perez and Guyton.
Well, this is the championship game, man.
Yep.
Everything is on the line here, so these guys definitely intense. They've got the energy, and they want it.
And it seems like that's what E.J. Calvo told his guys. He said, hey, guys, they've got the momentum. I want the intensity.
Right, and calm down. No need to hit the panic button. There's still a lot of game to be played. We're still within reach of this. Let's just settle down. Intense without making mistakes, and that's going to it's already gotten them back into the game.
So Perez, it's won 34-30, less than a minute and 30 left to go.
St. Paul back to the full court press.
FD trying to make something happen. And a foul called, but St. Paul indeed going back to that very attack mode defense. You know, when you can take a defensive unit and be on the attack, good things happen.
Yeah, absolutely. All that does is just open up opportunities for your offense to score. You get that press, you get the outlet pass, you're going to get layups. And so, I mean, you know, sometimes defense can turn into a really, really good offense.
Nathaniel Guyton has played a wonderful game here. Very good at the free throw line.
We are back to a 2-point ball game, Jason.
Gallardo working the ball around. Diaz. Where has St. Paul's offense gone the last 5 minutes? Audrey Dela Cruz, number 21 at the top of the key. And it's FD's defense who is giving St. Paul's problems.
Yep, they're going with a nice zone right now, pretty spread out.
But there's a nice bucket. 36-32, 45 seconds left to go in the first half.
Nice floater by White in the lane there, found an opening in the defense.
40 seconds exactly. The St. Paul lead back up to 4. It has been as many as 11, but FD cut it all the way down to 2. And we have got some talking going on between Guyton and kickball. Yeah, and Guyton getting in everybody's face.
He's intense. He wants it. He can feel it. You know, there's always jawing. Always a little jawing back and forth.
Now, I am neither cool nor hip nor suave, and so you have to help me on this. How does that phrase go? Let a play a play?
Let a play a play.
There you go. You can say that in ways that I could never hope to. I'm going to stick to writing computer code.
That works. We all thank you for that, Jason.
Maybe one of those days you'll invite me to like a party or something.
Let's not get carried away.
All right. As for right now, we got a basketball game to call as FD has really turned up the intensity.
Yeah, Coach Calvo really teaching those guys patience, patience. We're going to be all right. No need to get panicky. Run your game, play your offense, we'll be all right.
Oh, DeAndre Cruz. And did they say he got called for over the head? He scooped the ball at shoulder length and then brought it back on. And he might have gotten teed up for questioning that call. That is not what FD needs with 25 seconds left to go and down by 4.
Nope, you got to keep your head. You know, arguing with the ref or being upset has never, ever changed a call. So just got to keep your head. You know, it's a championship game. Don't want to get into foul trouble.
All right, Chris Barnett joining us, sideline reporter. Chris, what can you tell us about what the coaches are saying?
I think they're kind of maybe a little upset at the refs. I think the refs are making a lot of calls, and not like the consolation game where they really let the boys play.
Now, E.J. Calvo, it looks like he told his players, really step up on intensity, really get in these guys' face, and really start to intimidate these guys. What can you tell us about what he said to the guys?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he said, and it's working. I mean, FD was down by 11. They've closed that gap to just 4 points, so they're coming and they're playing exactly the game they need to play, which is, good physical basketball, and they need to be able to slow down St. Paul's run and gun offense.
All right, 15 seconds left to go, 36-32. The Warriors surviving this offensive onslaught. Calvo's got 5 seconds left to go, has to get a shot up, and drew the contact from Dela Cruz.
In the air, attack the defense, draw the foul, go to the line, and he gets you within two if he makes both.
Yeah. Now, the stat sheet is going to say that Tomas Calvo basically went at the top of the key and then ran into the lane, but he took about 45 steps on that sequence.
Yeah, he went all over the place, really trying to find a gap in that defense. Yep. Couldn't find one, so he ran right at him.
And so both coaches are bringing in some bigs for size and rebounding.
Looking to try to get a rebound and a putback here with 1 second left.
Tomas Calvo hits both, 36-34, and he has given his team a shot in making this a one-possession game to tie it, as 1 second lets it fly. And despite all the magic he's had in the first half, Diaz couldn't hit that. But ladies and gentlemen, 36-34 is your score. Warriors on top by 2 points. We'll be back with more right after this. Championship Sports on KUM TV, presented by Docomo Pacific, Gatorade. And the Guamanian Magazine. Stay tuned, we're back after this. I was like, wait, who's the third one?